Hi guys, welcome back. This is Rakesh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will see how we can call API with the help of service in Angular. So this is my 22 video in Angular tutorial, and let us start with what is API. I hope you have already aware with API, but anyway, we can take some overview of what is API. So in simple way we can say like API is just like a third party. That means it will data transfer from service from one software to another software, right? Now here you can see the basic definition of what is API. API is a set of programming code that enable data transmission between one software product and another. It also contained the terms of this data exchange. Now here you can see in this picture there are some component here: web application, request and response, and third is API, and last one is backend side. So API is just like a soft code, like you can say just like a piece of software, right? It will also use for data transfer, data collect from one software to another software. It will also handle requests and response. So now let's move on. uh, in this video we will also see what is subscriber, what is dependency injection, and what is observable, and what is HTTP client modules. So now let's move on what is dependency injection, because whenever we will call API in Angular, so we must have to create dependency injection, observables, and also service methods, sorry, subscribe methods. So they are very important thing here. Now what is dependency injection? So yeah, you can say injection, it is just like a combination of dependency and injection. So dependency injection is a core concept features of Angular 2 or more version, like Angular 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it allow a class receive dependencies from another class, right? It is also used for data transfer from one class to another class, right? It will also inject data with coming from service, that is called dependency injection. And now let's move on observables. Observable, we can say simple way, observable also absorb data, and it will also handle HTTP modules like request and response, right? You can say here, you can see here the official definition. And HTTP client, you can say it is just like a like you can say it is just like a modules, like HTTP client modules. It will also handle request and response, you can say get request, put methods, get methods, and delete methods. It will also perform on that. Now last one is subscribe. It is just like a method, and it will also perform on asynchronously, yeah, synchronously same data. And it will also verify of component service, that is called service. It's a very large topic, we cannot cover in one video. So now let's move on ID. So we will only focus on how we can call API with the help of service. So first of all, let's create service. So now let's move on new terminal, and here's first of all let's move on project directory, and we will simply write here ng generate service and service name. You can write any service name, say user. And after that, now here you can see we have two file, we got two file. First is spec.ts and second is service.ts, right? So now let's move on service user.service.ts. So before I'm going to create import HTTP client module, so first of all we have to import HTTP client module inside app.module.ts. So now here you can see we have already import HTTP client modules, and after that let's move on user.service.ts. First of all, let's import HTTP client from Angular common and HTTP from HTTP, and here simply we will write here HTTP client. And second step is here we will create dependency injection, and inside we will use private access modifier, and here we will write here HTTP. You can write any name and inject HTTP client, right? And third step is let's create one function for getting data. So I will just create one function. Let's say you can write any function name. Let's say display data, and inside this data I will create one variable for URL. Assign URL, let's say API URL, right? And we will use inside this variable we will use URL inside this variable, and after that we will use HTTP and use get method, right? And inside this get methods we will pass parameter API URL, this URL. So the one thing is here, first of all, you know you must have one API, right? API URL. So you can create with the help of Node.js. We can create with the help of any programming like Java, Python, yeah, any other programming language. So here we will take dummy API. Now here we will just write here JSON placeholder, right? And we can easily take dummy API. So let's we will copy this URL. This is just a dummy API. Now let me check this API. So now here you can see data is displaying in JSON format, right? So we will use this URL inside service, inside this uh, API variable, and after that I will paste this URL, and my service is complete. Now let's move on main terminal. Okay, and after that we can use any component. This service we can use any component. So I want to use this service on app.component.ts, right? So first of all we have to import service, right? We have already discussed in previous lecture how we can create service. So you can see in previous lecture, and after that let's use service directory user.service, and simply we will write here user service. Now let's create a one constructor. Inside this constructor we will use we will create a private access modifier, and after that we will use, let's say, user, and pass, I will inject this service, and after that I will I will call this users, and we will use this methods, and we will also use subscribe methods, right? So I think I having some issue. Let me check in user service.ts. So okay, so it will return this dot http get methods. So let's use here return, and after that we will use this service, and simply we will write here user service, and after that we will use this service, and after that we will use this so let's use here return right? And after that, let's move on app.component.ts. We will just use here subscribe methods, right? Inside this subscribe, I will just use arrow function. Inside this arrow function, I will console of this data and I will save. Now let's compile this project. Here we will just write here and this serve. It will take some time, so don't worry. Next video we will see how we can create backend API with the help of JSON, with the help of Node.js and Express.js. Now here you can see my project is compiling. Let's move on. User interface, simply we will write here localhost 2042. Now let's move on inspect and move on console. Now here you can see data is displaying. You can see data is displaying in array, and inside this here you can see. So this is a very simple way how we can call API with the help of service. This is a very important. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching this video. In next video we will see how we can display this data on user interface, right? Thank you so much. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel. If you have any question, if you have any suggestion, any question, so please put on my comment box. Thank you so much. Thanks.